We'll hear memories of the 1957 flood, and a Prestonsburg man is indicted on child porn charges. I'm Jerry Scott, and this is the Mountaintop Daily. Yesterday, Sheldon reported on how the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers estimates this year's flood would have been the worst to ever strike eastern Kentucky had it not been for the investments in flood protection which have been made over the last 80 years. As part of his story, he interviewed Pikeville resident Hugh B. Hall about his memories of the 1957 flood, which stands as the record flood for the Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy River. Hall's recollections of that time period were too good not to share with our viewers. So tonight, we remember his experiences of that flood.
There are few people who can say they were around for the flood of '57, and fewer still who can offer as unique a perspective as former Pikeville attorney Hugh B. Hall.
I have a little more insight on this flood than a lot of people because my dad at that time was the city manager of Pikeville. He just happened to be in Washington, D.C. trying to get flood control. And he tried to get back and he couldn't get into Pikeville because they declared martial law and they didn't know who he was. So they had to bring some of the local people in to tell them that he's our city manager and we need him. And so he started work. He stayed up 3 straight days.
At 16, Hall was just old enough to have been enlisted in helping with various stages of the flooding, including his part in the martial law declaration.
The flood came up, and as the water went down, the city needed to clean all the streets, get the mud out of the streets. So they wanted all the traffic off the street at night. So they gave me a police raincoat and a policeman's hat, and I was a policeman on Main Street to keep the traffic off. And there was one guy I got into it with, not bad, but a little bit. He gave me a hard time. He ended up being my law partner about 12 years later. O.T. Hinton, what a guy he was.
And just as with any good adventure story, there was even lost treasure to be sought after in the days following.
The worst place was the upper ridge, and it had to be burned. So before they burned it, there were mobile homes and everything in there. And one local guy had just gotten back, this is the truth, had just gotten back from Las Vegas, won $30,000 and put it in a mason jar in his camper. It has not been found to this day, but we looked for it.
Reporting for Mountaintop News, I'm Sheldon Compton.
A Floyd County man has been indicted on child porn charges following an investigation by Prestonsburg police. Police received a complaint from a person who got into a dispute with 22-year-old Simon Rojas of Prestonsburg after finding child porn on his phone. His phone was seized and underwent a forensic analysis by Ashland police, who found nearly 200 child porn images on his phone. The case was presented to a grand jury, which indicted Rojas on 1 count of possessing child porn and 1 count of distributing it. Each of the charges is punishable by 5 to 10 years in prison. Rojas has been released to home incarceration after posting a $5,000 cash bond. As part of the terms of his release, he is forbidden from being on the internet and he is not allowed to possess any electronic devices. Rojas is scheduled to appear in court for arraignment April 11th. The case remains under investigation by Detective Dennis Hutchinson. Coming up after the break, we'll check in on a local grocery store employee who just competed in the National Bagger Competition. We'll bring you a story when the Mountaintop Daily continues. But first, sports and weather.
With this Mountaintop Sports Report for Tuesday, I'm Brittany Rowe reporting. The boys' 15th Region Championship is set for 7 p.m. tonight at Pike County Central High School. Martin County and Lawrence County will battle for the crown, and fans can watch on our free Mountaintop TV app or our Mountaintop Sports Facebook page. You can also listen to the game on 96.5 FM. The Hell Podcast and Beyond the Scoreboard will join forces on Wednesday at 6 p.m. for a 15th Region Vent Session. Join us on Mountaintop Sports Facebook page. Reporting for Mountaintop Sports, I'm Brittany Rowe.
Hey, it's Kristen, Marketing Manager at Appalachian Wireless. Do you have a cracked screen? What about a failing battery? Don't stress. Appalachian Wireless has you covered. Our device repair service gets your phone in working condition fast. No need to send your device away. Get it fixed locally today. Stop by an Appalachian Wireless store today to learn more about fast and reliable repairs, or visit us on the web to learn more about our deals and promotions. Because we are you, we are Appalachian Wireless.
A while back, we told you about a local Food City employee who earned the right to compete in the National Grocers Association's Best Bagger competition in Las Vegas. He has now returned home from the competition, and tonight, Nick speaks with him to learn about his experience.
Jacob Brown, the Shelby Valley High School student known for his grocery bagging expertise, has returned from the Best Bagger Championship in Las Vegas. Though he didn't win, he says the experience will stick with him and serve as his motivation to improve. He intends to compete in next year's competition.
It was a lot of fun. I didn't win. The top 5 move on to the next round, and I didn't qualify for the second round. But just like the experience of getting to go, and it's not just people from Food City, it's just anybody that's under the NGA, like Grocers Association, send somebody. So it was a really good time. There was like 18 states that were represented, so it was cool to just really mingle with other employees from different places, and just like to be able to compete in front of that many people and on a stage like that was really cool. I would definitely like to compete again next year if I can. It was really fun. It was a good opportunity, and I would definitely like to try to go back and win it.
While waiting for next year's championship, Brown will continue to serve the community and meet new people. He says the regulars at Food City and his coworkers will be cheering him on.
I definitely think so. I think if I went back, that it would definitely help to have the experience of knowing what it was and how it was to do it on a bigger scale. But even just to be able to do it on the smaller scale at Food City, and just be able to bag groceries better for the just people coming through every day, just coming and getting groceries just for whatever they want or need. Just being able to do that as good as I can. There's a lot of regulars that come in, people that I'd never seen in my life, any age range, that come in often and that I know by name, and they always talk to, see how they're doing. They always come out of their way to come to my line and talk to me. It's like just being able to ask people just how their day's going, and just like be some kind of, just as nice as I can, to be just a little light just at the grocery store, just something that would be small, just to try to improve people's day, just in what little way that I can. It's nice.
Reporting for Mountaintop News, I'm Nick Collum.
That will do it for this edition of the Mountaintop Daily. Be sure to check us out at 6 p.m. every weekday on Mountaintop TV, the Mountaintop TV app, and the Mountaintop News Facebook page. With your Mountaintop Daily, I'm Jerry Scott for Mountaintop News.